All right. Hello, everyone. We welcome you to our progress where we infuse purpose, invigorate minds, and ignite change. Our topic for today is greater than my situation. So we're going to really get into that topic today. And we'll do our introductions. I'm Terrence Johnson, the life excavator.
I'm Kendrick Bailey, the life doctor.
And I'm Jeffrey Hart, the life champion.
All right. So, um, greater than my situation. Just taking in the context of what's going on right now in our world, it's a lot of things that's going on to make our situation look or seem that it's no hope and it's not any kind of elevation from where we are right now. And if you focus on all the negative things, it'll be enough to keep you distracted all day long because what you see on the media, what you see on social media, what you hear in conversation is always about what's wrong and about how it won't change. But it's always a way, always something on the other side of your situation. And so some of us, you might be looking to me and say, like, hey, well, I've had this situation that I've been in for a long time. Well, how am I greater than what I see in front of me? And part of that is your situation is really giving you information to where you should go next. So don't take it as an ending, it's a beginning. But how you frame it depends on how far you can go next. Because if you inform yourself just on the negative things, it won't empower you enough to move forward. You have to have something that will fuel you to go forward. Just like you have a car, you got to put gas in your car to go. If you don't put gas, it kind of stays stationary. So you need to start accessing and identifying those things that are more positive. Not saying that everything is positive around you, but you got to have some things that feed you that can help you to get to the next step. So with that, I'll kind of start going into some of our points. And so the first point is the fog will eventually lift. So with just say for instance, if you've been in fog or you wake up in the morning and you can't really see what's going on, all you know is what you see in front of you and it's clouded and you really can't see. Until the fog lifts, then you can see all of what was in front of you and you can kind of navigate better. So sometimes even right now it seems like we're all kind of in a fog because it seems like one, we don't know where we're going next, and then two, is like we can't see a way out from here. And you just have to know that eventually it will clear out, but you have to be patient for that. So I'll stop talking because Kendra back on now, so I'll let him talk. I'm throwing the alley
Hey, I was sliding my computer, but it just went off. So I was like, okay. But no, but greater than my situation, definitely going to be a great discussion today. And so, think about, your current situations, what do you need, what do you need to be pulled, out of, what circumstances do you want to change? And then not getting down on yourself, but learning to make that transition and shift through whatever season that you're in, because your circumstances, don't outweigh the situation, or the situation don't outweigh the circumstances. And so I'll let Jeffrey jump in, and I so I can get reconnected to the discussion.
Oh man. Well, let's see. Well, I kind of have a question. So, people going through their situation, Taryn, that you mentioned, you know, about the fog and all that kind of stuff. So, I guess what's one key element to, withstand, your situation when it's foggy and you can't see, you know, 2 feet in front of you.
Yeah. I think one of them is purpose. I think what gets people distracted is that they feel that their situation is their um, not necessarily their purpose, but it's inevitable. Like what they see is what's gonna happen, and that's not always the case. But sometimes you have to be patient enough to allow a clearing to happen, and that's kind of like when fog lives. It doesn't live because you keep charging in front of it. It lives because you wait until it does clear. And sometimes people are not patient as they need to be, or they want. Well, they're not as patient as they want to be because people don't like to be patient. None of us want to be patient. If we could get what we want to get right now, we will want it right now. But if you got it right now, would you be prepared for it? And that's one question that people don't ask themselves, and that's part of like what the fog is for. Sometimes you got to be prepared for when it does clear out, so you can go forward. Because if you keep going blindly into something that you don't know was the next step, by the time it does clear out, you already exhausted yourself. The same thing for just like with the pandemic, a lot of people have been frustrated because they haven't been able to do what they used to do or move around like they wanted to. But maybe you needed this time to reevaluate or work on yourself or prepare some things or let go of some things. So then when it does clear out, then you got more clarity about what's the best destination for you instead of just moving the way you used to work or moving the way you used to move.
Yeah. So I like that. And then, when fog happens, fog intentionally slows us down. Now, if you don't slow down within the fog, you're more prone to have an accident or to meet turbulence. And so, if we experience fog in our lives, maybe that's something that we need to notice internally that say, hey, we need to intentionally slow down and kind of examine this process, because if we keep moving too fast, then we're more likely to make mistakes. And so fog is definitely a time, people take their lights off of bright when they drive in the fog and they put it on dim, because you're only supposed to see so far in front of you, but it's clear, versus you got on your bright lights and you got a wider view, but you don't see nothing. And so right now, people need to learn to put on their dimmers and to see what's directly in front of them instead of trying to see what's all around them, because what's all around them is distracting them from the journey and the path that they're supposed to take. And like I said, we have to know what it is that we're, doing, and we got to know what season we in and what's the purpose of the fog. So ask yourself, what's the purpose of the fog? And you should gain clarity and understanding.
Yeah, no, that's good because that whole visual about car lights, you have your fog lights and you have your bright lights, and like I said, what you were saying, and kind of like the other piece to it is, just because it's brighter doesn't mean that you'll see more. Like what you were saying, that having a more focused sight, and that would get you to see what you need to see for this season. Preparation. So then when it does clear back out, now your vision can go wider again now, because now you can see all of that was out in front. But if you can't see that right now, you putting on your bright lights won't allow you to see that either. So no, that's good.
And I add a little bit more piece to it for anybody that's ever had night vision goggles on. People in the military know what night vision devices are. They illuminate darkness. They allow you to see in the dark. But one of the negative side to having night vision devices is you don't have depth perception. So what you think may be level may not actually be level. So you got to really go slow and take your time, because if you just go to running, you're gonna mess around and run into something that you're not equipped to handle and that you're not prepared for. And so there's just another layer to it.
That's good.
I'm looking at what Mayo said. I'm looking at what Mayo said.
Yeah. Yeah, you used that vision. That was good. I saw that real good. So, but I think that's part of it too. So I think a lot of us are just like you would be training for something, or you trying to, work out or kind of take care of yourself. Sometimes you can overdo it.
Yeah.
And all progress does make it good progress, because sometimes you being so focused on moving forward, you'll sometimes like overexert yourself.
Yeah.
That's how people, pull muscles or whatever like that, because it's not that they can't handle it, it's that their body needs time to heal or repair before they can do the next step. And so if you're running, or you so conditioned to run, sometimes it takes more ability and skill to be still than it is to run.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to elaborate on that, man.
Because running is an action, but it's a way sometimes for us to shut our mind off. A lot of people that really like to running is a way to kind of shut everything else out.
Yeah.
But if you're still, you're not running from something. You're starting to actually allow whatever is going on around you to actually start to come into balance with you. Because that's why a lot of people don't like to be still, because they don't like to think about themselves or focus on what they really need to focus on. So, okay, I can talk about myself now. So a lot of time when I was so focused on working and being like a workaholic, part of the reason why I was a workaholic was for me to avoid issues and concerns that I had. So as long as I was working, I didn't have to think about what was going on with me. I could just do something that would, by the end of the day, it would tire me out to the point where like I don't have time to deal with what I needed to deal with. I need to go to sleep, start it back over. So my running was running from actually trying to deal with the things that could allow me to get to the next step.
So basically, running prolongs your process with dealing with the unfinished business of the stuff that you need to work on. Because running serves as a control mechanism. As long as I run, I shut my mind off and I can't deal with the stuff that maybe I need to. And then go back to, am I emotionally ready to deal with it? But being still, that's a big one right there, because most people don't want to get caught up in their own thoughts or to be interrogated by the things that's going on in their head.
Right.
And so we don't like to sit with ourselves, and so that's why we stay busy so much sometimes. But then being busy makes everybody thinks that you're productive, when being busy doesn't mean you're productive. Being busy just means you're busy. And I equate busyness and running with avoidance.
Right.
So what's the purpose of the avoidance?
Yeah. Oh, go ahead. You had something different?
Yeah. So I was gonna say, so how can we get people to understand the benefit of being still and, kind of clearing out those old thoughts or, whatever that they're running from, so how can we get them to understand that there is a benefit to being still?
Well, I think, and like I said, I'll talk about myself. what the distinction you have to make is at what cost are you costing your body by running so much? Because you're gonna have to pay a cost, and either you're gonna pay it up front or you're gonna pay for it later. So me slowing down is for me to go ahead and pay what I need to pay to move forward. if I keep running, I'm pushing that pavement farther and farther down the line. Because eventually I'm gonna have to pay for that what I'm trying to run from, and I'm gonna have to reconcile with that, deal with it. But as long as I keep running, when it does hit me, and so instead of me choosing to deal with it, life will deal with it for me, which is I'll get sick or something happen or something like that. So life is you're gonna pay the cost some kind of way. Somewhere down the line, you can choose to do it willingly, or you can allow life to hit you with it. And you don't want life to hit you with it because it's gonna be worse than what it would be if you just sat down and just took inventory on yourself. Because part of that is people think that they're uh, they're better than what they think they are. So part of that running is I'm immune to having bad decisions, or I'm immune to like other people are bad. I'm not bad. See, I'm doing all these good things, so I got it figured out. So part of it is the arrogance of us feeling like we got it together,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why we get paid down the line because we have to deal with that arrogance. Because if you're moving forward, you have to humble yourself to know that any day you can be in the same situation of people that you feel like you better than, or you are farther along than they are. So like I said, a lot of that is ego stuff. And the more that we bring our ego in check, then we're able to move forward. And then knowing that I got issues, I got concerns, just like you got issues and concerns. Mine may be different, but I'm no better than anybody else. And I think that's what you get. Because a lot of the running is to maintain a level or a title or status. And then people wrap that into identity.
Yeah.
And it's like, I got to maintain this level. People used to be having this car, this job, or this, that. So we run for that. And then it's something I say like, I don't want to be a and this is where I kind of just explain. Some people are trash individuals. Not that they're bad, but is that they don't stand on anything. I don't want to be a trash person. So I want to deal with my trash before I come in contact with other people.
So you want to take your own trash out.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah, but I don't like it. Like I said, y'all done heard me say that a lot. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like trash people. And it's not that they're bad people, they're just not in tune to themselves. Yeah.
Yeah. So you brought up a couple points. Arrogance. Arrogance is very significant with people because arrogance is more about insecurity than we think. Because people that are arrogant are really afraid to be found out. They're afraid that you will see the imposter within them, and so they got to keep this role of being, the intelligent one, of being the successful one. But they never get comfortable being themselves. And so, whenever you're in the presence of an arrogant person, give that person a hug because they need a break from the roles that they're playing. It's hard, being in character all the time, especially when you're not yourself. And so, greater than a situation allows you to just be comfortable being you, and you know that you don't have a role that you need to play, and you don't have to be in character for other people. You just content with being you. And the people that embrace you, those are ones that meant to embrace you. And the people that don't embrace you, well, that's okay too.
Yeah. Now that's good. That was a good point about giving them a hug. it's good. Because you understand it like, man, you just need this hug, man. You going through a lot. You
Yeah,
just
because you do it.
trying so hard.
Yeah,
You try so hard. You just give you a hug.
yeah. You've seen those people. You doing too much, and they ain't okay with the space that you in, and so you can recognize those people and like I say, embrace them. Because and let's go back to something that me and you talk about all the time. A lot of what's wrong in society is we're looking to be embraced, but we trying to be embraced by the wrong people. We got our fan club, but the fan club not embracing us. So who do we need to be embraced? Who do we need to embrace from?
Yeah. That was the question you want.
Yeah, I think you.
I mean, I was looking at comments on time.
This is something that you talk about all the time, so I think you need to let them in on this.
I say it one more time because I was trying to put comments.
We go around looking to be embraced, and we typically want to be embraced by the wrong people.
Right.
And so, who do we need to be embraced by, and what's the purpose of being embraced?
Okay. All right. So one, the embrace from the wrong person will still be as empty as the hole that you're trying to fill. So if it's not the right person, it don't matter how much embracing they do to you, it's feeling like they not even there.
Hmm.
Because what you want, they can never give to you. And the other part is they, even if it's the right person, their embrace still won't fully fill that void. It's really you have to embrace yourself first.
Hmm.
And the reason why we can't embrace ourselves first because we don't know ourselves first, and we expect other people to tell us about ourselves. And so we have a lot of people that hover around us to make us feel better, or to say like, "Hey, what you think?" or what about? And so they don't have an image of themselves in their own mirror, so they keep looking for other people to be mirrors to show different pieces of them, and they never get. You know how you almost kind of like when you little, you go to like the fair, you go to like the fun house, they got like the hall of mirrors, and you see all these different mirrors, and like your image is distorted everywhere you go. That's kind of like what we doing. We looking for people to give us an accurate depiction of ourselves, and they're always gonna have a distorted image of us, and because we got a distorted image of us.
Yeah.
But then the other part is we want people. We're looking for people to embrace us on a level that we used to be on, and that's why we can't fully be embraced because they're hugging like an older version of us. And so sometimes that embrace feels more like a trap because that embrace is trying to hold you to a norm or something that they comfortable with.
Yeah.
So they'll be like, yeah, come on, I embrace you. But that embrace is not beneficial to you because I know that this embrace will keep you here.
Yeah.
And so I'm willing to do this embrace and not an embrace. Cause just think back. When people hug you and it's real genuine, and
Yeah.
People hug you and you like, something about that one right.
Yeah.
It's like that way. It's like when people really, really connected to you and they
Yeah.
hug you, you can feel that. It's
Yeah.
like you get, but
Yeah.
somebody that something not right with them or they doing it with the wrong intent, you leave, you kind of like break the embrace, you like,
Yeah. It's kind of like that stereotypical man hug. We
oh yeah,
embrace each other for a quick second, and then we hurry up and jump back off like there is something wrong with that. But yeah, like I said, this is something that we talk about a lot behind the scenes, and so that's why I wanted to bring it in front of the computer and talk about being embraced, because like I said, it's a lot of people want to be embraced, but they don't know who they need to be embraced by, and then they're being embraced by the wrong type of people that have influence on them that take them away from their purpose. Because I remember the story we talked about with the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, and you told the story about Will and Uncle Phil. I think that's a good story to share to further expound on embracing.
Okay, you setting up the alley-oops today. So yeah, you throwing them up. So yeah, so we were talking. Everything was going on with George Floyd, and the first thing that kind of popped up in my head, like the visual, was that episode of Fresh Prince with Will and Uncle Phil and his real dad, and his dad kind of promised him to kind of go on a trip, and then he backed out like he usually does. And the whole process was Will going through his range of emotions of why does he not get the embrace from the person that he thought that he wanted it from, but the embrace that he finally got was from the person that's always been there. So like Uncle Phil was always there for him, but he thought that his dad's embrace was the one he really needed, but he already had what he needed too. So sometimes the embrace may not come from the original source that you want it to, but that doesn't mean that it's devalued. Sometimes it's better for it to be that way, for you not to get the embrace from the people that you think you should deserve it from, because their intentions are not pure, because they'll embrace you and still leave. And so yeah,
I think one of the biggest points from that is we have to stop chasing the people that we want to embrace us, and we have to start looking at what's around us for the people that's already been in our system, supporting us and being the cheerleaders for us. Because a lot of times we chase what we don't get, and the thrill of the chase is exciting, but you're chasing something that you will not acquire. The thrill of the chase is exciting, but you're chasing something that you will not acquire.
Yeah.
And so people go through their whole lives chasing things, and they don't understand that the only person they got to catch is themselves. Because if you can get
say it again. Say what you said again. No good. No good. I gotta stop you on that. Say it.
If people go through their whole lives chasing things, and the only person they got to catch is themselves. And so when you learn to catch yourself and you get you start to beat at a different drum, and you start move at a different rhythm than other people. Because what used to define you, that deters you. And so you're no longer, attached to the notion of that's what, makes you the person you are.
Yeah, it's good that you brought that up, because my next question was going to be, is it more important to embrace yourself first before you look for somebody else to embrace you?
Definitely, because if you embrace you and you know that you got what it takes, then you equipped to do the work that you was intended to do. Then you're focused on purpose. Then you understand what your gifts are about. You got to first work on self. Then it equips you to do all the other things that you want to do. Be your own cheerleader first.
Yeah.
All right. So if I do embrace myself, do I necessarily have to have everybody else to embrace me also? Or since, I've embraced myself, I don't have to worry about nobody else?
I'm going to let T get this one.
Yeah, because you said I was ready. So once you get to the point where you embrace yourself, it's not that other people embracing you is not important. You just don't need other people to embrace you to validate you. It's like, if it happens, it's okay, but I don't need it for me to go forward. And that's what a lot of people get stuck, because they waiting on that validation from that embrace from the person that they think they should have it from or whatever. But even if it doesn't happen, I still embrace myself. So I'm good with me, even if other people might not be good with me. And that's more of what it is that we so concerned about people not being cool with our moves or what we doing or our choices that we'll hold ourselves back and shut pieces of ourselves off to make other people happy, to want to elicit that embrace. So like I'm willing to bend and shape myself just so other people embrace this version of me when I moved all the way forward and what they still see. Like my mindset is far beyond where I am presently, but my body is still present, and that's what they still want to embrace, what they can see.
Yeah.
And if you embracing yourself, you embracing not only what people can see, it's the stuff that they can't see. And that's the stuff that we run from or we try and run away from because those are the things that we have to actively work on. Just like, some of us, it's a work in progress to make sure we don't cut people out. Like this is where we at. Some of us just where we are. But that internally, if that's your issue, that okay, that's what I gotta work on. For other people it's patience or whatever. Like I just can't wait longer for this, and you had to work on that. So each one of us had levels that we are kind of in different categories. So that's why it's like I can't fault you or look down at you because like, oh, you know your anger management is a different issue than mine. But that doesn't mean that I might have another issue that you do better in. So it's like I can't compare myself to you because we got different issues and different concerns. But I know mine, and I know when I'm not right. And so, how dare I talk about you when I got my own stuff? Yeah. And that's I say it a lot. It's like I don't really concern myself about what other people are doing because it takes a whole day to work on myself. It takes all the hours in the day to make sure I'm good. So I don't have time to be worried about what other people, what they doing or who said this. I don't enough to deal with me and make sure I'm good every day. But I don't have time, and so that's how you know who is really doing internal work and who's not. If your conversation always focus on other people and what they doing, you're not working on yourself because you shouldn't have time to. If you really doing internal work, it's gonna take all your energy to do that work. If you got time to talk about other people what they doing, you're not doing the work. You're just not doing the work.
You pretending to do the work.
No, you're not even pretending. You just not. You just not. It's not even pretending. You're just not doing nothing. You just not.
You dusting with a piece of paper.
Yeah. I like that.
You ain't doing the smearing stuff.
Oh, I like that. That was good. Now I got to go back to some of these comments, okay? Because I missed them while I was talking. So, y'all go ahead. Oh no! So hold on. Let me go back because I had other points and we can skip through them. Hold on. Let me go back. All right. let me catch back up. All right. So okay. So this is the next part. Your speech is not elevated to your next level. What I mean by that is the words that are coming out of your mouth are still tied to what your situation is, not what your situation will be. And if you want your situation to change, the way you talk about your current situation need to change. And so we allow because we can't see our next step, we talk from that being our only frame of reference. So like for me, I used to go, this was about 5 years ago. I used to go to Palm Bridges to run before I went to work. And I would pull up like their front row or parking spot had like cars that I like. They'd be like Lexus and this and that. And I was like, every time I would pull up in my Mercury Milan, I'll pull up and like one day I'm gonna have a car like this. Like I'm gonna have a car like these cars on this road. And like I would say it, and so fast forward some years after that, I had got another car. Like I had got my BMW, and when I pulled up and I looked around, I was like, "Oh, I'm here!" Like I said this, like I'm on the road with the other car there, and so that was one revelation. Like, man, I said this. Like I talked about it, and I was internally talking about it. Same thing when I was in the doc program. I would walk and I would visualize me walking across the stage. Like I could see it. And I was like years, it was like a year or two before it actually happened, but I could see it. And it's like when I got to graduation day, it happened exactly the way I saw it in my head. Because when I walked around, I was like, man, I've been like this how I envisioned it, like this how it happened. But I didn't allow my current situation to dictate what my next situation would be. I had to start visualizing it and talking about it before it happened. Same thing for a lot of what we're doing now in the business. We got a lot of stuff that's about to come next. We've been talking about that a lot of the public doesn't know about, but we know about it. And that's why we can be excited about what we're doing right now, because you haven't, y'all haven't seen what's to come for our progress yet. And so that's why we can get on here and be excited about it, because we know the next thing is going to be greater. And if we have to start small, we're fine with it, because we know the steps that we've taken to get to the next level.
Yeah.
So like you have to be committed to the level that you're on right now to prepare for the next level.
So I got a question for you, Terrence. So this is gonna drive them to the next spot.
Okay, hold on. Let me put comments up, and then I'm doing it as you. So I'm listening. I got to catch up.
So how do we make our visualizations be a manifestation to the destination?
Okay, you gonna have to say that again, because you rhyme and everything. You.
How do we make our visualizations a manifestation to our destination?
Okay.
You gotta speak.
You gotta speak, and then you gotta write it. Write it down. Make the vision plain. And so that's another reason why I journal a lot, because what I write down, and me and Kenny, because I walked him through like some of my stuff when we was in the office one day, and I will write stuff down. The stuff I write down is not for now; it's for the future. And so a lot of times, what I have to do is reflect back to what I wrote and find out what I had put down. And so, just because you write it right now doesn't mean that it's for right now. It may be for the next thing. And think of what else I was gonna say. So yeah, it's really clearing out space or clearing out clutter in your head. So just like you have to declutter like your closet or whatever like that, you have to declutter your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you start to move forward into what you're gonna do next, by having clarity of thought. Because if your mind is overwhelmed and it has so many different competing thoughts, then it's hard to move forward, because you're moving forward in a fog, just like we were talking about before. But in order to prepare for when it clears out, you got to clear out your mind too. And sometimes we like to be overwhelmed in our thoughts because we don't want to move. And so we can use being overwhelmed as being our excuse.
Yeah.
But we choose to be overwhelmed too at a certain point.
All right. Choose to be overwhelmed, because being overwhelmed serves a purpose, right?
Right. Yeah, it serves a purpose. Because all right, because being overwhelmed in my thoughts is me not trusting the very thing that I want. So it's a faith thing. And it's a control thing too.
Yeah.
Because if everything that I want to happen is controlled by my mind only, then I have so much control over what's going on in my life, which we don't.
Yeah.
When you learn to live outside of your thoughts, then you start to come in alignment of the thing that you really need to do, because it's going to happen independent of you, not dependent of you.
Yeah. Yeah. So faith allows you to arrive at your destination if you trust the process.
Right.
And a lot of us, and everybody's been on shaky ground when they didn't trust themselves. And it's kind of like playing double dutch. You in and you out. You're trying to find the perfect time to jump in, but there's no perfect time to jump in. You just got to step out there. And even if you get hit by that rope and that rope stop going, you can always restart. We so afraid to start and have setbacks or fail that it stops us from ultimately getting to where we're trying to be.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you go against everything that everybody thought you once was, people think that something might be wrong with you. But what if how you once did it just no longer fed you or provided nourishment for you, and you had to change everything about you to continue to evolve and to transcend with the times.
All right. So you just made my transition to the next point. So your circle has you handcuffed to the old version of yourself. A lot of us, we're so loyal to people that have nothing of value to offer us. All that we have is time with them, but they don't add anything to us. And so if you try and bring everybody with you, then all you will have is more baggage. You have to allow yourself to free yourself. And if you really want to have the change that you want, that's the first thing that really needs to change is your circle. And if you really want to do something significant, you have to really shed people that only are there for your downfalls and not your triumphs.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people support us when we down, but they don't like us when we finally get on our feet. And so us being in a spot where we feel a lot more vulnerable is where they want us to be, because then they feel like we need them or we owe them for the time that they were around. So then when we start to move forward, then they're like, oh, well, I remember when you ain't had nothing. I remember when this and I remember that.
Me too.
That's how you going through now. Now you got back on your feet. Now you don't know nobody.
I remember you when you was this. I remember you when you was at your worst or you was doing the worst.
Right.
And you got to say, thanks for the reminder. Transition. This is where I am. And then I go back to some, the famous Dr. Lee Brand Jr. said, his famous sermons, I was built for this. People have to say that to themselves. I was built for this, for the purpose that you have and for the mission and the vision that you have for yourself. Because nobody can execute your mission and nobody can create your vision. I say that one more time. Nobody can create your vision and nobody can execute your mission. That's something that you have to do on your own. That's something that's action oriented, that comes from you and is for only you. And if you define what you are or who you are by somebody else lenses or eyes or dictionary, or you get your information from the wrong encyclopedia, then you are misinformed, not well informed, you're not equipped, and therefore you won't get to your destination. You're gonna stall out and you're gonna need constant repair until you figure out that the key is you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you said you need constant repair. And the reason why you need constant repair is that you are operating in environments and settings that you weren't built for. So you always gonna break down if you in an environment that you weren't built for. So a lot of us, we are we are living below our capabilities, and because of that, our full capabilities are not being worked out. So that's why we always in need of repair, because we're not even activating all of our parts. And so if you don't activate something, you don't continue to run something, then it locks up, it gets rusty, it needs to be repaired, it gets broke down. And so a lot of us were built for greater things, for greater environments than what we're in right now. And until we recognize that we were built for something far beyond what we're comfortable with, we'll continuously get broken down by our environments because we weren't built for them.
Yeah.
And the people in our environment weren't built for us either. We just happened to be in an environment with certain people that were out of our control. Like sometimes we grew up around people that really shouldn't have been in our environment, but we didn't have a choice then.
Yeah.
But like our situations are really shaped by the people around us that we choose. So if you don't feel like you're on the correct level, it could be that the people that you chose to be in your circle is not the right people. But yeah.
Now I was looking at mail last comment turning
Yeah,
into
I saw it. Yeah, I saw it.
so, but now that was a great, collection of words that you put out, and hopefully everybody got what you were saying. You know, you got to be you, but your circle is important. Your circle is important, and if you surround yourself with the right circle, you can constantly get nourishment. But if you surround yourself with the wrong circle, you're gonna be deficient of a lot of things, and you're gonna remain stagnant. Uh, Again, your circle has you handcuffed to the old version of yourself. Don't be the old version of you. Be the version of you that you want to be, and remove the box. You know, sometimes we got to make lifestyle changes if we want to change. Sometimes we got to give up the stuff that is so good to us if we want to evolve. And a lot of people don't want to give up good stuff because giving up good stuff feeds self.
Mhm.
So we have to learn to give up the things that we really enjoy sometimes, to take a break from it so we can really feed ourselves. And that's an example of fasting, when you give up something that you really love, because then you're able to grow and evolve. But you got to give up something. If you don't sacrifice something or give it up, it's going to be hard to evolve. I love meat, but for the last 28 days, I hadn't had any meat. I've gone vegan, and it's helped me, do some different things. It's
Mhm.
helped me change, my lifestyle.
Mhm.
It's helped me do, feel better, and it's overall taking me somewhere that I didn't know that I was ready to go. Because at one time in my life, I thought I would have never gave up meat.
Mhm.
You know, Giving up turkey necks and turkey wings and neck bones.
Uh-huh.
But you got to remove all those things out of your life if you really want to find out who you are at the core. And when you find out your core value, that's when you really move at a different beat.
Mhm. Now I
So
like
what
this.
y'all
Oh, go ahead.
now I say so what y'all saying is it's basically important to have a season of separation from certain people or situations
Oh,
altogether.
yeah, Let me talk about that. You just hit on something I had forgot about. So That's the other piece to it. To being handcuffed to the old version of yourself is because you haven't had a period of isolation. And isolation doesn't mean that you're alone. Isolation means you need time to then get your new instructions. So just like we were talking about before about you running, or in repair, a lot of times you're in need of repair because you haven't got your next set of instructions. So what you're running on is the old software, and you need an upgrade. But you can't get the upgrade if you always around. You got to have downtime to download the new version. So if you always on, it's hard to move forward because you haven't had time to then get your new instruction. Because if your circle is informing you, they giving you old instruction, and you got to separate to then get the new instruction.
That's pretty good. Well, I guess the next question is, what's your next set of instructions, and how do people find it out?
That's to me.
Yeah, it's going off of what you said. When you talk about instructions, how do people find out what's their next set of instructions?
All right. So the next set of instructions will, one, inform them of what they need to let go of. Two, the next instruction will inform them of what they need to build within themselves in order to go forward.
Give them a look at your process too, when you have to look back.
Right. And then three is what patterns no longer serve your system. Because if patients work on this level, then I may need to not necessarily be impatient, but I might need to be a lot more action oriented in this next phase. So my instruction will let me know what will be necessary. And then the fourth part would be, well, what's the purpose of the instruction? Because the instructions have to lead you from one state to the next state. And you're not gonna be the same person. So you need to know exactly why you need these new instructions and just like for you, like with the military, you got a certain set of orders for whatever mission. So you can't go into the mission if you know the instructions.
Yeah,
You just going out there and get shot. Like you just go out there and go blind. So like if you know the mission, then you know the why, you know the how, you know all the intel you need to know to go forward. A lot of us are creating our own instructions for things that God has given us specific instructions for. And that's why we get stuck.
that's pretty good. You got to know your mission, you got to know the intent, and you got to know your end state. So ultimately, what you want to achieve. But you got to follow the plan in the process. And you can't be on shaky ground when you're going through it. But I like that picture you painted. Everybody know what orders are. Everybody know what an order is. I command you to do something, or you need to do this. And so you just have to have that vision to take, words and to visualize it, or to paint the picture that you need to help you get to your destination.
Yeah. I got behind on a lot of comments. I'm gonna put them up right quick. So yeah, I'll put them up. But I mean, just like when in the conversation that we have on here, we really do want the people that's listening to really get some insight on things that they're experiencing right now, decision that they feel like they need to make, or just old pieces of themselves they need to kind of shave off or kind of leave behind. And so hopefully, as we talking in the discussion that we have, help to do that. And then we're working on things that'll be coming soon that will be next steps for these conversations, so you can go further into depth with some of these things and really get the information or the tools you need to start making more tangible changes in your life.
Yeah. No, it's good stuff. Well, we definitely enjoyed this discussion. We had a lot of great comments. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. If you enjoyed this discussion, share it with at least 5 people. The more you share something good, the more it can become a ripple effect. Because if you're getting good stuff, share with somebody else that needs it. One of the things that Terrence, Jeffrey, and I do, we go through and we get different sermons and we pass them along to one another, because if we getting fed good stuff, or if I'm getting fed good stuff, I want the next person to get something good too. So you got to pass off good stuff and be like Terrence said, you got to take the trash out on a daily basis to get rid of the trashy parts of yourself. If you're going to elevate, and that means go a little higher, or that means, see things from a different perspective or have an elevated view. Don't be afraid of elevating, even if it take you out of your comfort zone from being around, your current circle. And it's okay to be different. Welcome, the notion of people saying that you're different. That's good, because that means you don't think and you don't do things like everybody else, and you okay with standing alone or being different from everybody else.
Yeah, that's good. You wrapped it up. You wrapped it up nice. So I don't have much else to say. Jeffrey, you got something else to say before we go?
I guess the only thing I got is basically it's up to you to change whatever situation that you're in. You have the power and the ability to either speak life to your situation or to speak death to it. It's up to you and how you want to use it. So yeah, just examine yourself. Like T said, you got to take the trash out daily. So yeah, the power is within you to change whatever situation that you have.
And it's good, guys. That's it.
So we'll definitely see you, everybody, on Thursday in the Take the Journey group, and we'll have another good discussion for us to go through.
All right.
Have a good one.